Right, everyone, I think we're going to get started now. First, thank you very, very much for coming. I'd also especially like to thank Eris for agreeing to host. Eris, as you see, has renovated their place. They do all types of catering. It's a great place to sit down. They'll be open for performance Passover, and it's a great place to get your all your various culinary needs from. So thank you very, very much, and we greatly appreciate it. So about this evening. So what we're going to do is read the poetry and essays of my uncle Daniel Polsky, who died about a year and a half ago, not this past October, but the previous October. So we had known that my uncle was Daniel Polsky was liked poetry, but we sort of had a sense that he liked to write some poetry. We knew that he was a member of the Poet Society, but we didn't know how much poetry he had written. Just a tiny bit about my uncle. He grew up in New York. He won a Bronze Star in Vietnam. And for most of his life, he was a physician, and he left behind a wife and an adopted child. So, as I mentioned, we had known that he liked poetry, but we had no idea until just before he died that he had written so much. So after he died, we saw on his computer and his files all the poetry and essays that he had left behind. And so it was a very, very, very long process. It was a labor of love on the part of my mom, Carol Polsky, my dad, Irving Polsky, a tiny bit of help from me, a tiny bit of my wife, Cindy Rothstein, and a few other people. But after a very, very long time, we finally got it published to this book, which we'll be reading from today. We'll be reading mostly his poetry, but a tiny passage of his essays as well. And after the readings, for those of you who have not purchased the book already, my father, Irving Polsky, will be right over here, and he will be available in order to buy various copies of the book. So without further ado, we're going to get started reading. And the first reader will be my father, Irving Polsky.